Hari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Givaradhari. Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Givaradhari. Yashodanandana Bhajana Ranjana. Yashodanandana Bhajana Ranjana. Yamuna Tira Vanachariyam. Yamuna Tira Vanachariyam. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Givaradhari. Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Givaradhari. Yashodanandana Bhajana Ranjana. Yashodanandana Bhajana Ranjana. Yamuna Tira Vanachariyam. Yamuna Tira Vanachariyam. Jaya Krishna Rukmani Jaya Satyabhama. Krishna Rukmani Jaya Satyabhama. Jaya Gauranitai Jaya Gauranitai. Gauranitai Jaya Gauranitai. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Prabhupada. Dham Vishnupad Paramhans Parivraaj Kacharya Astottara Sadat His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki. ISKCON founder Acharya BBT founder Acharya Save the Whole World Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki. अनंत कोट वैष्णव वृंद की, नामाचार श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की, वंदे देवी तुलसी महारानी की, ताई गौर प्रेमानंदे। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। Reading from Srimad-Bhagavatam, Canto 2, Chapter 1, entitled First Step in a God Realization. Text 30. Daur Akshini Chakshu Abhuta Patangaha दौरक्षिणी चक्षुरभूत पतंगः दौरक्षिणी चक्षुरभूत पतंगः पक्ष्माणि विष्णुः अहनि उभे च पक्ष्माणि विष्णु अहनि उभे च पक्ष्माणि विष्णु अहनियुभे च तत् भ्रू विजृंभः परमेष्ठि दिष्णम् तद्भ्रू विजृंभ परमेष्ठि दिष्णम् तद्भ्रू विजृंभ परमेष्ठि दिष्णम् तद्भ्रू विजृंभ परमेष्ठि दिष्णम् आपः अस्य तालु रसा एव जीवा आपस्य तालु रस एव जीवः आपस्य तालु रस एव जीवा दौरक्षिणी चक्षुरभूत पतंगः पक्ष्माणि विष्णु अहनिर्भे च तद्भ्रू विजृंभ परमेष्ठि दिष्णम् आपो यस्य तालु रस एव जीवा दौरक्षिणी चक्षुरभूत पतंगः पक्ष्माणि विष्णु अहनिर्भे च तद्भ्रू विजृंभ परमेष्ठि दिष्णम् आपो यस्य तालु रस एव जीवा दौरक्षिणी चक्षुरभूत पतंगः माणि विष्णु अहनियुभे च दौरक्षिणी चक्षुरभूत पतंगः पक्ष्माणि विष्णु अहनियुभे च तद्भ्रू विजृंभ परमेष्ठि दिष्णम् apoyasya taluraseva jiva. Word meaning: the sphere of outer space. Akshani, the eyeballs. Chakchuhu, of eyes, senses. Abhuta, it so became. Patangaha, the sun. Pakshmani, eyelids. Vishnu, of the personality of Godhead. Sri Vishnu. Ahani, day and night. Ubhe, both. Cha, and. Tad, his. Bhru, eyebrows. Vijrambaha, movements. Parameshti, the supreme entity. Brahma, Deshnam, post. Apaha, Varuna, the director of water. Ashtya, his. Talu, palate. Rasaha, juice. Eva, certainly. Jiva, the tongue. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Translation: the sphere of outer space constitutes his eye pits, and the eyeball is the sun as the power of seeing. His eyelids are both the day and night, and in the movements of his eyebrows, the Brahma and similar supreme personalities reside. His palate is a director of water, Varuna, and the juice or essence of everything is his tongue. Translation with repetition. The sphere of outer space constitutes his eye pits. The eyeballs is the sun as the power of seeing. His eyelids are both the day and night, and in the movements of his eyebrows, the Brahma and similar supreme personalities reside. His palate is the director of water, Varuna, and the juice or essence of everything is his tongue. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. To common sense, the description in this verse appears to be somewhat contradictory, because sometimes the sun has been described as the eyeball and sometimes as the outer space sphere. But there is no room for common sense in the injunction of the Shastras. We must accept the description of the Shastras and concentrate more on the form of Virat Rupa than on the common sense. Common sense is always imperfect, whereas the description in the Shastra is always perfect and complete. If there is any incognity, it is due to our imperfection and not the Shastras. That is the method of approaching Vedic wisdom. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purport. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chakshur Ulmitam Ena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pacharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashyate Desatarine. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Sivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Prabhupada. Translation goes like this. The sphere of outer space constitutes his eye pits, and the eyeball is the sun as the power of seeing. His eyelids are both the day and night. In the movements of his eyebrows, the Brahma and similar Supreme Personality reside. His palate is the director of water Varuna, and the juice or essence of everything is his tongue. So, we have been discussing Srimad-Bhagavatam, this chapter 1, which is entitled The First Step in a God Realization. So, we have been discussing from couple of verses the Virat Rupa of the Lord, the universal form of the Lord. Like in the previous verses, as Sukadeva Goswami explaining to Parikshit Maharaj, like in the previous verse, text 28, that I will just read out the translation. The chest of the original personality of gigantic form is a luminary planetary system. His neck is a Mahar planet. His mouth is a Jana planet. His forehead is a Tapah planet. The topmost planetary system, known as Satyaloka, is the head of he who has 1,000 heads. Next, sloka number 29th, the previous that. It is explained, his arms are the demigods headed by Indra. The 10 directional sides are his ears. Physical sound is his sense of hearing. His nostrils are the 2 Aswini Kumaras. And material fragrance is his sense of smell. His mouth is a blazing fire. So, we have been discussing the Virat Rupa of the Supreme Lord. Last couple of verses in a Virat Rupa. So in today's verse, Srila Prabhupada explains this Virat Rupa that can be like the Lord, as we know that Lord has a transcendental form. Lord is a Satchidanand Vigraha, as explained by Brahma in a Brahma Samhita. Iswaraha Parama Krishnaha Satchidananda Vigraha Anadir Adir Govindaha Sarvakarana Karanam. So Satchidananda Vigraha. The Supreme Lord, the form of the Lord is a transcendental, completely transcendental, is not the material form. So, Lord, he is situated in a transcendental position. Now, being a conditioned soul, the jivas, which are conditioned by the 3 modes of material nature, they cannot perceive the Lord because they are under the clutches of illusory energy of the Lord, material energy of the Lord. So, being a Bhaddha Jiva or conditioned soul, they cannot see the Lord because they are fully under the clutches of Maya. So, another side, Lord is a completely transcendental and is situated in a transcendental topmost position. Another side, the Jiva is a 2 degraded platform. So we can see the contradiction here, that Jiva, it does not have idea about the God, and God is a topmost transcendental platform. Just opposite. One is in a material plane, another is a transcendental plane. So, now Parikshit Maharaj asked Sukadeva Goswami about the nature of the Lord, what Lord all about. So, Sukadeva Goswami started explaining the transcendental feature of the Lord gradually. He is starting with this Virat Rupa of the Lord or universal form of the Lord. So person who is materially completely contaminated or person who cannot see the transcendent form, for him as a beginner, he thinks like this, whatever I see from the gross senses, that is the ultimate. Materialistic person thinks whatever I am able to acquire through my senses or mind or intelligence, that is the ultimate. They cannot go beyond that because they are conditioned, materialistic person. So then same materialistic person, now gradually he can realize another aspect of the Lord which is very much related to him. He can see all around only material energy, the Prakriti, only he can see the Prakriti all around. That's all. So Lord, out of his compassion and the great compassion from the Vaishnavas like Sukadeva Goswami, Srila Prabhupada, so they are explaining to the materialistic person, you can also approach the Lord just as a baby step. Baby step means the just beginning. You can relate. If you see the sun, you can sun or moon, then we can see, yes, this is the presence of the Lord. If you see, if you taste the water and your thirst is quenched, then you feel the presence of the Lord. Because currently he cannot perceive the transcendent form of the Lord. He can only perceive only material thing only. So he has to realize the presence of the God this way, materialistic way. Like presence of the Lord in a different aspects. So as we discuss in today's verse, like Prabhupada explains, this, the sphere of outer space constitutes his eyelids, eye pits. So whatever all around, the space is there. Space, sky, open space. So that is considered as a socket of eyes. Eyes, they are fixed on the axis of one inside the hole. That's called socket, eye socket. So space is considered as a eye pit in entire universal form. As we know that in a previous verses explain the different planetary system, either lower planetary system, middle planetary system or upper planetary system, all together constitute the universal form of the Lord. That is the universal form of the Lord, which can be perceived by any person if is little bit sober, if he is seeing from the eyes of Bhagavad Gita or Bhagavatam or from the Vedic literature. So that materialistic person, he is trying to perceive the Lord through the material nature itself. So he thinks like materialistic person think the ultimate, the source of everything is material nature. Beyond that nothing is there. Why? Because he cannot see behind what is there. This nature, he thinks nature is ultimate. And beyond the nature he cannot go because his vision is totally materialistic. So that is not so true, because Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Jai Sri Krishna Guru Satyabhama ki Jai, Prabhupada ki Jai. So for the materialistic person, this nature is ultimate, that is the highest understanding, and he thinks this is the origin of everything. Nature is origin of me, origin of everything. Nature is the highest, that is the topmost. But this material, this nature is nothing but is a material energy of the Lord. As explained by Lord Krishna himself, this energy, material energy or nature is acting under the direction of the Lord. Lord says, Maya adhakshena prakati suyate sa characharam. So this Maya adhakshena, so Lord is the adhaksha. So under the order of the Lord, this material nature is acting. Whatever is happening in this entire creation is under the direction of the Lord, which is confirmed in Bhagavad Gita. So that is next understanding. This nature is not ultimate. Nature also has a cause, and that is also managed by some upper cause or supreme cause. That is the Lord, Supreme Lord himself. So Krishna also explains in 7th chapter this material energy which is made of 8 elements, Ashtadha. So these 8 elements, which is all about what we see in different transformation, that is actually nothing but is an emanation from the Lord, is a coming from the Lord. So that is the this description given here. So we can perceive the presence of the Lord, just like it is said, that air is blowing, that is hearing of the Lord. Sun and moon, they are through the light. As soon as sun rises, we can see the thing as they are. In night time, we cannot see thing as they are. In fact, we are using this electricity and this technology, we can see some extent. So when the day comes, that sun rises, day appears, then we can see as they are. Night again, we are not able to see or perceive the thing as they are up to the mark. So it is said, this is day and night, that is Lord eyelids. Lord closes the eyelids and open the eyelids. This eyelids. Opening and closing of the eyelids considered as a day and night. So Krishna, like in a Brahma Samhita, Brahma explains about the position of Surya. What he explains? Yak chakchura esa savita sakala garanam raja samasta moti sar asesa tejaha yasa gaya brahmati sambrati kala chakro govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami. It is explained, this Lord Govinda, who is a master of everything. So the sun is nothing but is a Savita. Savita, that is sun. Savita Sakala Grahanam. Graha means planet. Sakala means all the planets. So all the planets, Savita. Savita means Surya, sun. The sun is a king of all the planets. Savita Sakala Grahanam. So all the planets, among all the planets, the king of the planet is a sun god. So, and sun god is a constantly tejaha, constantly millions and billions of the years passed by, continuously illuminating the heat and light. That reaction is happening, as we know from the chemical reactions happening inside the sphere of the sun planet. So Lord says that Surya, which is giving light and heat to the whole creation, that sun, Surya, is getting the power from Govinda. Govindamadi Purusham, Tamam Bhajami. So now we can see whatever all around is there is nothing but is a manifestation of Krishna's energy in a different form. So that is one of the point. So universal form of the Lord, it is recommended for such class of people. Which class of people? Prabhupada explains in a Bhagavad Gita, 9th chapter, Prabhupada explains, there are different category of people, then they don't have any faith on the Lord. As we know that, like 4 class of people, they don't have any, like they have very minute faith. And there are other class of people, they don't have faith at all on the transcendental form of the Lord. Like Lord says, Avajananti Mamula Manusim Tanum Ashita. When Lord, the same transcendental Lord, when appear in the Manusim Tanu means the body, Manusim means this human form. When Lord, like 5,000 years before, when Lord Krishna appeared, same, he took the form, human form. So many people misunderstood him. Many people, they derived him. They is an ordinary person, maybe little bit powerful person, some siddhi he has got. But it is not so. The Supreme Lord descended in his own original transcendental Sachidanand Vigraha form. So the people, like materialistic people, they could not understand he is the same Supreme Lord, the 5,000 years in Vrindavan Dham he appeared. Because their vision is completely materialistic. So for them, there must be some chance to understand the God gradually. So that's why for them, materialistic person, he can relate outside with the gross senses and the mind, whatever he can perceive, through that he has to see the Lord. Through that only he has to see the presence of the Lord. So that's why the Sukadeva Goswami is explaining the first step in a God realization is a Virat Rupa of the Lord or universal form of the Lord. That is the first step in a God realization for the materialistic person. So, Prabhupada explained another point in a purport, just I will read out. To a common sense, the description in this verse appears to be somewhat contradictory because sometimes the sun has been described as the eyeball and sometimes outer space. So we find many contradiction in Vedic literature. As we know that Vedic literature explains, Veda explains, the stool of animal is impure, right? This is the injunction in a Veda. Stool of animal is impure. If somebody touches that, he has to take a bath, become purified, then he can perform other activities. So this is the one of the injunction in a Veda. But one more thing is written. What is that? That cow stool, cow urine or cow stool is a very pure. So now this is a contradictory. Stool of animal is impure and stool of cow is pure. Is a contradicting to each other. So Prabhupada explaining this contradiction apparently look like contradicting, but it is not so. It appears like is a contradicting because we are seeing with our imperfect senses. As we know that from the Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita, this whatever our gross senses, they are having 4 kind of defect, right? So just like sun now is a cloudy, when the sun appears, if we see the sun in a sky, then sun is a look like one coin. One coin. If you see upward in the sky, it will be one coin. So that is the size of sun? Sun is a coin? No. It's a million, billion, trillions, much more bigger than the earth planet. We cannot see that, but because our senses are imperfect. So, another side, the God is a perfect, but we are imperfect. How the imperfect person can see the perfect person? It's not possible. So that's why in a Veda, these are the contradiction, apparently look like contradiction, but actually they are crystal clear. Crystal clear. Like one more instance given in a Veda, just like bone of animal or bone of any living entity, bone is impure, but the corn cell which we blow before the arati, the corn cell is a very pure. What is the purity of corn cell? When we begin the puja, that time we just blow the conch. Not only that, with the conch we bathe the Lord also. Every day we do abhishekam, soda sopchara abhishekam, or festival abhishekam. So conch is so pure. So here also contradiction is there. Bone of animal is impure, but corn cell is very, very pure and auspicious. So the newcomers, they will get misled by these contradictory statements in the Vedas. So that's why we need a person who can tell us what is what in a Veda. So that is self-realized person. Like Srila Prabhupada is a self-realized, 100% self-realized person. So, and Srila Prabhupada being in a parampara, is receiving the knowledge from the perfect source. What is the perfect source? The Lord, the Supreme Lord is 100% perfect, and the knowledge coming from the Supreme Lord is also 100% perfect and pure. So knowledge, Prabhupada is received this knowledge from his Guru Maharaj, and same knowledge Prabhupada is passing on to the next generation, to the next his disciples. So this knowledge, even though whatever available in the form of Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, or whatever knowledge given by the self-realized soul, that is the perfect knowledge. If we follow the instruction of Mahabhagavata, then thing will become very crystal clear, even though apparently contradiction will be there. Just like one more contradiction. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, I am Ajaha, 4th chapter. Ajo api san. So Krishna says Ajah, I am Aja. Krishna, Lord is a unborn, but still Lord is taking birth. Lord took birth in a Mathura jail. So how we can understand? Lord says in Bhagavad Gita, I don't take birth, but he's taking birth. Is a contradiction, right? In Isopniषद explained, Apani Pado. Lord does not have legs and hands, but he can reach out every part of universe. How is that? This is also contradiction in Veda. Lord does not have any head, like hand or leg, but he can reach out all the direction he can reach out. So how we can understand? That Prabhupada explains how we can understand. So as the cow, like this stool of animal, any animal is impure except cow, and that is already proven by the scientist also. Whatever given in a Veda is 100% perfect knowledge. Perfect knowledge. There will not be any contradiction in any time, any place, any situation. So this stool of animal is impure, but the stool of cow is a very pure. That was given in Veda, million trillions of the years before itself. Now scientists, they discovered it. They found so many antiseptic qualities in a cow urine and a cow dung. It's so much helpful for the health. If we take little bit drops in our daily, like as a part of our daily meal or something, then our body becomes very pure, and that is the position of cow. So people, they think with a monotonous vision or their monotonous bodily conception of life. They have to see from the eyes of the Shastra. What Shastra said, that is the reality. That is the reality. So, like we discussed, Krishna is Ajaha, is unborn. But another side, he take birth in a Mathura, in a jail, he took the birth. So how we can understand this point? So Prabhupada explains, Lord, even though he is Ajaha, like Lord is Ajaha, he is unborn. But for the pleasure of his devotee, in order to do exchange of the mallows with his devotees, Lord appears in this world, but that form of the Lord, that is completely transcendental, not the material form. This way we can understand how Lord, even though he doesn't take birth, still he takes birth. For the pleasure of his devotee, still he takes birth. Like Lord, we can understand everything has come from the Lord. Big oceans, mountains, planets, universes, everything has come from the Lord. So, suppose this entire billions and trillions of the galaxies are coming from the Lord. What would be the size of the Lord? Much bigger than the galaxy, right? Galaxy has come from the Lord. That means Lord is bigger than galaxy, is it not? But the same Lord, even though he is unlimited from our perspective, is still the same Lord, he becomes very small in a deity form. Just small, he becomes small like Gopal. And devotee feed him, make him sleep him, and fan to him, dress him, all these things. Same unlimited Lord, we cannot, that is beyond our perception, but for the pleasure of his devotee, he becomes so small in the sense so that he can exchange, he can release his transcendental love with his devotees. So, Prabhupada explains this kind of apparent contradiction can be understood clearly through there are two processes given in a Vedic literature. One is called deductive process and is called inductive process. So these two processes, like first process, is a deductive process. That means we know that some of the managerial study we have done top-down approach, another called bottom-up approach. In any work we do. So there are two approach, top down or bottom up approach. So top down approach means receiving the perfect knowledge from the supreme highest authority, which is no other than the Lord himself. Just hear from the Lord in the form of Veda, Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, and take it as it is and practice it, and you realize the same, what Lord told is the same. Another process is inductive process. Inductive process, by own endeavor, you are putting your all effort through your imperfect senses and trying to find out the ultimate cause. Just like, suppose I want to know who's my father, then I will follow second approach. What is the second approach? Inductive method. What is the inductive method? Bottom up approach. Bottom up. From the bottom I will start. I will ask every person, you are my father, you are my father, you are my father, you are my father. And whole creation, so many males are there. I will keep asking to them, are you my father? Are you my father? This is a simply waste of time process. Simply. And finally, first thing, I cannot ask all the male person. Second thing, they will not also sure also. So this inductive process, this bottom up approach, that is imperfect, because we are trying through our imperfect senses, and through the imperfect senses we cannot come to the conclusion of perfection, because we ourselves is imperfect. How we can achieve the perfect from the imperfect? Another, like same example, if I ask my mother, who's my father? Then my mother will tell, he's your father. Immediately, within few seconds, I got the conclusion. What is my origin of this body? So, mother is an authority. She can tell, he's your father. So, just I heard from my mother, who's my father? Just one line. That's all. So, how effective, how perfect, how pure, how quick this deductive process is. And that is what recommended in a Shastra. Another example in Shastra. What is that? If I try to find out, man is a mortal. Means person dies every day. Person will die. Everyone has to die one day, right? So, now I try to research this. Okay. So, I'll see, oh, my uncle was there. Now uncle is no more. Uncle is died, over. Oh, my grandfather, he was there. Now my grandfather also died. He's also no more. But so many people are still there. So many have gone, so many still there. So what is the conclusion? Man dies or doesn't die? Many people like Bhishma Pitama, many generations alive, Aswastama, or Hanuman, still Chiranjeev. These are still they are alive. So what is my conclusion of my inductive process? Like I'm trying to find out person dies or not. Everyone one day dies. So because we have heard from the authority, we have heard from the Veda, we have heard from the Shruti, from the Lord, like everyone has to die one day. Everyone has to die one day. So just by hearing, there is no more research. Keep researching every day. Oh, this person died, this person died, person dies or doesn't die. This confusion will go away if we follow the deductive process. There's the top-bottom approach, which is nothing but is directly emanating from the Supreme Lord. So, Prabhupada is explaining, when we follow this deductive process, which is emanating from the Supreme Lord, which is supremely perfect and pure, just receive the perfect knowledge from the perfect authority and take it and use it in our life and practice it, and one day you'll realize the same what you have heard from the authority. So this is the accurate process. Another side, the process which is self-generated or self-researched, that process is a completely imperfect process. So our Vedic literature or Srimad-Bhagavatam totally emphasize on this process of deductive process. That's why this transcendental knowledge is getting transmitted from the Supreme Lord to us through the parampara system, from the topmost highest authority to the lower to us. So that's why this process, which is very perfect process, origin of this process also perfect, and we are receiving the knowledge also we are perfect. If we pass on the same knowledge to others, even though I will be imperfect, like we are imperfect, but the knowledge which we have got from the perfect source, if pass on the same knowledge as it to the next person, knowledge will go as it is, perfectly should go. So that means the process is working. Otherwise, this process is getting hindered by the materialistic person. So Prabhupada explaining in conclusion, the person who is a materialistic person, he cannot perceive the transcendental form of the Lord. He should relate with the nature, and he should see the presence of the Lord through different, like sun and moon, they are eyes of the Lord. When sunlight is spread all around, we can see the whole world. That is the eyes of the Lord. This entire universe, that is the eye socket of the Lord. That entire creation, sky is there. In that too, sun and moon eyes are there. So that is what Prabhupada explaining here. So for the materialistic person, the simple way in a first realization, at least you should start relating with the energy of the Lord. Lord has multifarious energy all around, whatever material energy. So he should see the presence of the Lord in energy of the Lord. Gradually he will be uplifted to the next level, come to the higher level. We'll see in a further chapter how his consciousness gets elevated from the universal Virat Rupa form to the impersonal form of the Lord, like Brahman aspect of absolute truth. Furthermore, he has to elevate his consciousness, come to the next level, that is Paramatma feature of the Lord. Furthermore, that he has to come to the highest conclusion, which is the Bhagavan, the Swarupa, that Duja Bhuja Swarupa of the Lord. That is the ultimate, the highest aspect of the Lord in the realization of the God. Okay, so with this we'll end here. Srimad-Bhagavatam ki, Srila Prabhupada ki, Nitai Gaur Premanande.